Get him. Sometimes you get lucky. To battle. Oh! Oh! Battle time.
You survey the area for some way to cross over and spot an iron bridge collapsed into the burning tinder water. Someone in a time long past built a bridge here, though it has since collapsed from the heat. Suddenly, an idea strikes you. Maybe I can use the steel primal's power to manipulate metal and make it so we can cross. You decide to summon forth the primal's power and repair the fallen bridge. Unfortunately, the pieces left to you are so mangled that no one would rightly identify them as parts of a bridge. You've joined these two bridge parts rather skillfully, if you do say so yourself. Polka, however, looks concerned. I think there might be a better way of placing that. If we could just redo it, he mutters to himself. With the steel primal's help, you safely cross the lake of fire. The bridge you've built remains firmly in place. It actually looks quite sturdy. You should be able to use it to cross as many times as you like. As if crossing over a lake of fire weren't enough, your path is once again blocked by flames. You quickly survey your surroundings and see more parts you might be able to fashion into a bridge. You call upon the steel primal once more and prepare to improvise another bridge. That piece doesn't connect, I'm afraid. Perhaps you should try another. You've made it once again, but before you can celebrate, you're greeted by an expanse of tinder water. You summon the steel primal a third time and hope this is the last bridge you need built. But the pieces the primal hauls out of the tinder water don't look like they'll fit together. You look back at the bridges that brought you here. Alas, you've built them too well. They won't come loose from the rocks, so you'll have to make do. Trawlus, seeing the worry on your face, chirps encouragingly. Search. We will find. Must be way. one side is impossibly a bridge part. You should be able to use this to get further across the Tinder water. Trollis gazes intently at you. She's noted your mastery of the steel primal's power. She explains that ever since she was picked up by the circus at a young age, she's trained as a beast tamer. However, as she puts it, she has not managed to improve in the slightest. She asks you to give her some pointers on how to get monsters to obey. And you reply, a massive monster wreathed in flames rises from the lake. It's shrouded in such heat and fury that you can scarcely turn your eyes to it. This is, in all likelihood, the Flame Primal. Your party readies their weapons and prepares for a fight. Slay this beast for the children! You can't tell if it has something to do with the primal, but poison is slowly coursing through you. You must end this battle quickly. get lucky.
Oh!
You've managed to gain the advantage on your foe, but suddenly, you feel as if suffocated and fall upon one knee. Your poisoned body is screaming, raging in protest. The flame primal clearly isn't going to let this chance pass it up, and it begins amassing power. Barely thinking, you go right, attempting to dodge the primal's attack. but your foot catches on something and you trip and fall to the ground. You shut your eyes, believing this might be the end of you. But the pain you brace yourself for doesn't come. You wonder what's happened and open your eyes to see. Trollis, you scream. She turns to you and gives a pained smile. The acrid smell of burning meat assaults your nostrils, and Trollis cries out in anguish. Still, she desperately musters her strength and pushes back the flame primal. Trollis has given you and your friends a chance. You stand, and together you and your comrades attack the primal with all your strength. You've done it. You've beaten the flame primal and sealed it within a card. The flames upon the lake begin to recede and then blink out entirely. Perhaps because you've beaten the flame primal? You see Trollis crouching on the ground and run over to her. "Are you all right?" you ask. She totters to her feet.
Having rather shrewdly managed to gather some of the flame primal's bodily fluids during the fight, Polka immediately sets about inspecting it to determine its composition.
To the great surprise of all, he does not detect any trace of poison in the fluid. Could something else be the cause? Polka collects some of the lake water in a bottle. He then busies himself dipping various papers and medicinal compounds into the bottle. At length, he makes a curious face. According to Polka, burning the water releases toxins that accumulate and can cause fatal harm to the human body. Your party decides to head back to the City of Flame and inform the aristocrat of your findings. With the flames of the lake extinguished, those of the pond in the center of the city have also gone out. The people seem frantic to reignite the tinder water once more. "It's 50,000 gold pieces for the night," a voice snips as you enter the inn. Your jaw drops. "Oh, I'm only kidding. My other business brings in so much coin, I let people stay for free," the innkeeper says, laughing heartily. You figure it's best not to argue, and resolve to stay the night on the innkeeper's largesse. Polka's medicine succeeds in stabilizing the child's condition. However, he is quick to indicate that it is but a stopgap measure. Polka advises that, should they wish to prolong the life of the child and of all those in the city, they must stop using the tinder water. The aristocrat shakes his head and says, "That we cannot do." You calmly ask, why? He explains that the tinder water is the basis of all life here in the city. The city would fall into decline if they were to stop using it, and most of the citizens would be set adrift with no means of supporting themselves. I am in charge of this city, and I cannot stop our use of tinder water, even if it costs the life of my child. Polka's voice is quiet. I cannot claim to understand how those who rule over others make their choices. You ask the man if there is some way to resolve this impasse. He grimaces and makes a self-deprecating snort. Maybe if Nuterra existed, then all would be solved. You ask if Nuterra is some kind of place, and Polka nods. Polka explains, Nuterra is said to be a mysterious land abundant with all manner of resources. The aristocrat picks up the thread. Scholars claim it exists beyond the river to the northwest, but none who go there ever return. With that, the man gives you a large amount of food and sends you away from the manor.
The lad is all smiles and mirth, claiming that if he were to invent a tool to start fires, he could make a killing. Despite his sunny attitude, though, he looks quite unwell. With a trembling hand, the knowledgeable old woman strikes a knife against stone, muttering, "This'll get it burning. I'm sure it will." The passionate woman is screaming herself hoarse, coughing and sputtering as she points in shock at the pond where the fire has gone out. "The fire in my heart has gone out with all the rest," the man mutters before sinking to the ground, his arms hanging limp. The stall is lined with delicious-looking grilled meats. However, it seems that they will only sell to people from the city. You hand the food out to the orphans. "How did you get this?" the boy asks. You explain that you received it as a reward from the aristocrat. Hearing this, the boy blurts out, "I'm going to use the burning water to get rich too." The boy mentioned that his parents died due to illness. Likely they were stricken with the toxins from the tinder water, just like the aristocrat's child. You tell the boy that the tinder water isn't good for him, but he replies, "I don't care." The boy thanks you for the food and runs off with his sister. Polka has a difficult-to-read expression on his face. "Let's at least hand out the medicine," he suggests, You nod without uttering a word. You offer some medicine to the man, but he keeps repeating, "No, I'm good," as though in a delirium. The woman accepts the medicine from you. With a pained wink, she says, "Not that this medicine could cure love sickness." You give some medicine to the ambitious young man, and he is jubilant. "Yes, I can work even more now." You offer some medicine to the old woman, but she puts up a hand and refuses it. "I'm afraid I don't make a habit of taking medicines I've never seen before."
The aristocrat has already rewarded you. You doubt he'll be of any further aid. "I'm gonna get rich and buy my sister all the yummy food she can eat," the boy tells you.
You offer medicine to the children, but their faces drop. "This won't fill our tummies," they say with considerable disappointment. It doesn't look like the people of the city are going to stop using tinder water anytime soon. The medicine you shared with them may provide little more than brief peace of mind. "I can't believe they won't give it up. They know it's poisonous," you say in a low, pained voice. Legol gives you a sympathetic thump on the shoulder. You look up at him and ask, "Do you think everyone could be happy if we went to New Terra?" His denial is immediate and assured. New Terra is a fairy tale. You answer him in a small voice. Polka looks positively delighted. "Why, yes, now that calls to my scholarly soul." Trollis seems equally on board. "I go too," she says, smiling. In the face of your united enthusiasm for the idea, Legol grunts, "Fine, if you insist. You and your friends have made up your minds. You shall seek New Terra and whatever hope it offers, believing it exists just like the stars in the sky." The city has done nothing about the poison, and likely never will. Now that you've left, it would be safest if you never returned.